Welcome once again to yet another sales and marketing business development video. My name is Opus Godwin, CEO, the marketing, sales, and business development professional and trainer. In today's video, we're going to be looking at how to build customer rapport without sacrificing profit margins. There are times that we sacrifice profit just to build rapport with customers, sometimes not one to several customers, and this sometimes affects profitability. Today, I'm going to show you some ethical bargaining strategies and techniques that can help you maintain profit while building customer rapport. Instead of struggling over price with the prospect or the customer, do what I'm about to tell you. The first thing I'm going to talk about is validating the customer's position. It is important to understand the prospect's perspective. This is to enable you build some kind of trust. Acknowledge the concerns of the prospect before trying to explain your own price. This strategy uses a principle of reciprocity. It creates a positive reaction, and this can reduce conflict and dragging of issues over the pricing of your product. The prospect gets to understand you much quickly. So for example, you can say this: I understand why you would love to buy our product or service at the lower price that you are talking about, which I know is tied to your tight budget as a result of what you have within this quarter. Then quickly shift to your side, right? So with that in mind, our prices covers extensive research and development. We try to research that much to ensure that our product quality is maintained at that highest standard. So we will be able to find solutions to your problems or solve your problems. Right. So this one, you tend to tie it to high quality, right? You tend to tie it to high quality. Now, the next thing we're going to talk about is transparency. You see, when you are open, the prospect or the customer tends to relieve himself out of doubt. It cuts through doubt. This is one strategy that you can use called the pricing architecture. Be open and give a vivid cost breakdown to justify why your price is at that level. So just be honest and open about your cost and its relationship to the price. So for example, we spend 50% on materials. So the price contains 50% for materials, 20% for labor, as we ensure that we get the right type of people, right? 20% for overhead costs, 20% for overhead cost, and 10% for profit. So you see, we ensure that we have access to the very best of supplies and materials from reliable, ethical suppliers. We also ensure that we get high quality skilled labor to work with, and we also have to maintain our overhead cost. So in effect, we make only 10% as profit. This, as a matter of fact, reveals some kind of fairness, and as a matter of fact, provides some kind of a justification for the total price. You can as well also resort to using what we call the tier pricing, which is very common in most software markets or with most software products. So for example, you have a basic, you have a standard, and you have a professional plan, right? You can position the prospect or the customer towards the standard plan. So for example, the basic plan gives core generic features, just the actual or just the core benefit of the product. And then the standard, you could even add, let's say, analytics or insights and much more. Then the professional plans could be customized, right? This will end argument directly, right? This will end arguments directly and will create much more trust between you and your prospects. The next thing I'm going to talk about is to shift focus from cost to value. Stop discussing cost at some point and talk about value. Talk about the total value of a product rather than the price. Your talk should be based on long-term gains. For example, higher output if they use your product, cutting down training hours if they use your services, maybe by 40%. So you can cut down training hours by 40% or reduce time spent on production by 40%, right? Using our product or service as compared to that of competitors and that of, the market leaders. You can also add some sort of some benefits as well, extra benefits. You see, in the theory of marketing, we all know that the product is made up of three major parts: the core, the actual, and the augmented. So add some augmented benefits to the product. For example, you can give strong warranties or add the free installation, free training, or free support for some period of time. This will reduce the need for long price talks. You see, buyers will be willing to spend more if they have the budget, if they see a complete set of benefits. You see, the higher cost of a product sometimes would also connote to the prospect or the customer that that purchase feels like a real investment. But as to how to get the prospect to get to buy your product or service at that high price is the issue. So try this strategy that I am talking about right now. The next thing I'm going to talk about is active inquiry. Active inquiry. Diagnose needs, right? Get to know of the customer's voice. This would build a strong rapport, which every ethical bargaining strategy needs. Go beyond surface talk and uncover the real customer's pain points. You see, don't focus on objections, as objections might actually hide much more deeper issues and insights as to the customer's pain points. Ask open-ended questions. Questions that does not require yes or no. That gives the prospect room to talk, right? This helps you find out the root of the objections, right? So you can use the SPIN method. S stands for situation, P stands for problem, I stands for implication, and the N stands for need payoff. So let's take the S, situation questions. These are questions to learn their current setup. Problem questions will spot the pains. Implications questions to show the impact of their pain if action is not taken. And then the need payoff questions is to link your solution to their pain point. So if one asks, for example, how does that affect your daily operations? Or what challenges are you facing right now? You can even further go deeper. What would success look like if this problem is not solved within the next 6 months. Now, if they still continue to tell that your price is still too high, even though there are consequences, it is quite simple. Ask about what their growth goals are in the next few months. What are their budget limits? This will uncover if it is really a budget issue, if it's a cash flow issue, or something like a perceived risk. This also let them realize that you care about their problems. This will help you to review internal issues such as board approvals or even team buy-in. Once you know this, it makes it easy for you to find solution to this, right? The next thing I'm going to talk about is strategic concessions. Strategic concessions. And it's a very interesting point. You see, one thing a lot of marketers, a lot of salespeople, a lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of business people doesn't know is that in business and in marketing and in sales, never give without getting. So you must do smart giving. When you give something or offer something to the prospect to entice the prospect or the customer to buy, tie them to a gain that will benefit you, so that the ethical bargaining becomes balanced. Never give without getting. So, for example, if you decide to offer a discount or a price cut, map it to a benefit towards you, the marketer, the salesperson, or the entrepreneur, or the seller. So you build a concession matrix. So you pick an offer, you map it to a benefit that would come to you, right? So for example, you can say that I'm giving you 10% discount, but instead of 1 year subscription, you have to subscribe for 2 years, so I give you 10% off. Or 5% off for a testimonial. I'm going to give you 5% off discount, but you have to do a social media post, right? To tell the people out there that you've gotten value from our product. Tell people about the benefits of our products. So we'll give you 5% off for a testimonial as a user-generated content, just to tell people about products. So it could be a 30-second or a 1-minute video on any of the social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, etc. Telling prospects, telling customers, telling the general public about our product. Or we give you a free add-on if you pay within a specific period of time. Right. This can help you keep your margin aligned to the gesture that you are giving to the prospect or the incentive that you are giving to the prospect. So in a nutshell, these are some of the techniques that you can use to, as a matter of fact, bargain strategically with a prospect or a customer so that you don't end up losing out profits margins just to build rapport. If you love this video, kindly hit the subscribe button and subscribe, and give a thumbs up by clicking the like button, and share to a brother or a sister or a friend or a colleague. See you in the next video.